Hey everybody, I hope everybody's having a really good week this week. So this week what's popping and dropping is a tree pop-up card. And this says happy fall y'all. And then we just did a tree with falling leaves on the front. And then we open it up and we have trees all over our card. Isn't that cute? And then I just did mine with like falling leaves on my tree. But the next card we're going to make, I'm going to do it a little bit different. But you'll still be able to create yours this way from the file that you upload. So you'll have a choice to whichever way you want to do it. And then of course on the back I have a place where we can write a message. So why don't we head over to Design Space and I'm going to show you the pieces you need to get started. I'll see you there. Okay guys, so here are all the basic pieces you need to create your card. I did add a few extra pieces that you'll see me use in this video. If you would like to use them, you're more than welcome to. And what we can do is go ahead and go up and name and save our project, get our pieces cut out, and I'll meet you at the craft table. I'll see you there. Okay guys, so we're back at the craft table. We can go ahead and get our card base and our pretty paper and go ahead and work our score line and then glue our pieces to the front and the back. So why don't we go ahead and do that. Alright guys, now that we have our pretty paper on, what we can do is get our pieces that look like our card if you chose to cut it. And I just did it this way so we can disguise our mechanism. Also in the file there is an extra tree if you want to make this front look like a 3D tree. And to do that I'm just using these little foam sticker things. Also there's leaves in there, and then there's also in your file the color of the tree that I'm going to use in this one. But I'm also going to show you how to do the trees that we used on the inside of our card here. So we are going to need our trees. So if you want to go ahead and get those out, and our tree tops if you're going to use these. So on the mechanism, you can use one of these, two of these, how many ever you want to fit inside your card. And before we put this down, let's go ahead and put a tree together, because we'll need that to see where we're going to be able to place our piece down. So this is similar to our palm tree that we made. We just need one with a slit in the middle and then one that has a little piece missing on the bottom to go with each of these. And we are going to do 4 trees in this card today. What we can do is go ahead and work all of our score lines on our piece that will hold our tree, and they will all be mountain folds. And there's a total of 8 score lines on this piece. And then once you have them all worked, our tab, there's a tab at one end of this, and we're going to fold it over like so and glue it down. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And then once you have this tab work, you can move it either way, but you want your two tabs across from each other to line up. That's how we're going to put it on the card. So we have this piece done. Now for our tree. If you notice on this piece with the slit, there's an extra long branch that's right here. And what you're going to do, especially if you're going to leave your trees naked, is you'll slide this piece in, and then it will work between that little V slit between the middle of this tree. Okay, so it'll work between here. And then once you have it over, we can take that piece and fold it down like so. And we're just placing it on the other side of our tree. And this is just going to help stabilize our branch. So once you have it in place, you can put a little glue on our longer branch. And then we're going to fold it down onto our tree. And then that's what it's looking like when we have it. So now we have our tree. Now if you're going to leave it naked, you can go ahead and figure out where you want to place your tree. I'm going to put these on my tree this time, so I need to go ahead and do that. So what you need to keep in mind when you place your little greenery on it is when you come to the center of our tree here, okay, you don't want anything getting in the way of it laying flat. So the best thing to do is to keep, whichever way you want to do it, but you want to keep it flat against the tree like so. You don't want it to interfere with anywhere in the middle. So I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to take some glue, put it on my branches, and then adhere this part to it. And I have one already done, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. See how each of those are laying into the tree and not crossing over to get in the way of the branches. Okay. And it's totally up to you how you want your little greenery positioned. So on the next one, you can place it any which way you would like. But before I do that, I think I'm going to go ahead and do all the top ones first. So as long as it's not crossing over, you're good. And we just need to do that on all of our branches here. So now we have one of our trees done. So what we can do is set him aside. And we're going to take our mechanism piece here and we're going to go ahead and work the score lines. So it's going to be a valley fold, mountain fold, valley fold, so it should look like this once you have it folded. And then what you're going to do is line this piece in our score line. Have him lined up in the middle of our score line, our little knobs here. And let's say this is where we want to put him. Well, he's going to turn this way because of how the mechanism is. So we just want to make sure we're not going past our card line here. And I think I need to scoop mine in just a little. And that's still not going to work. So about right there is where I'm going to put mine. So once you figured out where you're putting it, you need to make sure these knobs are in the score line. And then we just flip this tab over and put a little glue on it. And put him down. And without moving anything, keeping everything flat, we're going to do the same thing to this end. We're going to flip it over, put a little glue on it, and then fold it down. And we need to let this dry. And then once it dries, we can just fold it up and everything should lay nice and flat in our card. So I'm going to go ahead and go put the rest of my trees together. I have all my trees done, and we have our one mechanism folded here, and we can just check again to make sure how our tree is going to be sitting so it's not coming outside of our card. And what we do is line our two tabs up on our tree holder, and we put a little glue on the tab that's here, this little tab. And then we're going to place one of the sides down on this tab here, and you just want to bump it up to the score line. So that's how it's looking. But we've just glued this tab down, okay? Then what we'll do is put a little glue on this tab. And fold our card to closed. And then we open it up and we have our tree holder that will hold our tree. And we can just put our little legs through these holes. Now, I want you to notice my card I'm going to have open like this. So when I open it, I can see that I don't have limbs on this side. I don't have limbs on this side of the tree. If you want it, I have where I can see this side there's limbs, and this side and this side. If you want, that's what these extra trees are for in there that don't have any of the greenery with it. What you can do is just clip these off. I'm going to take my tree back off so I can show you. And then you can just line it up on the edge of your greenery there, and you'll have one on that side if you want it. So I'm going to do that to both of mine. And now we can just put our tree back on. Okay. Now for this side, we'll need to fold another one of our tree holders. And then we'll do the same thing. We're going to put a little glue on this tab, and then we'll take our tree holder piece and place it down. So just so you can see where the glue is at right there. And then we can put a little glue on this side of this tab on our tree holder piece. And then we're just going to fold it down into our card. These little pegs right here, we can snip off. Those are just to help us line our piece up in our score line. And I just snipped them off over there. So it's valley, mountain, valley, and you can use this or not use this other one. It's totally up to you. I think that's where I'm going to set mine. So that means this tree is going to kind of lean towards us this way. And it won't bump the other tree. I'm just going to show you again so you can see about how close I have it to this piece over here. And if you're unsure, you can always use tape or something that's not going to stick permanently to the bottom of it. And it should fold up nice and neat. So we have that tapped down. We're going to lay it flat up and bump it up against the score line, and then just shut our card. Do a test, and it is laying just fine. Okay, so we have our 3 trees on. Now what we're going to do is put our last tree on, and I think I'm going to put him about right here on my card. And you just want to do it so you know it's not coming outside of your card over here, and you don't want it to hit a tree either to make it not fold up properly. Okay, so about right there is where I'm putting mine. And you might be able to put yours further out, or might have to put it further in. It just depends on where you place your little foliage on here. So I'm gonna put him on here and see how he works. And he folds up very nicely in there. Now this is just a regular tree that we've made, and I wanted to show you guys, if you want to give it some dimension, you can take some foam stickers and we can put it in between the tree here, like so. And if you're using it without leaves, like I did on this card, what I did was just cut it so it couldn't be seen, just to give it a little dimension on there. And then we can just take that off. And then fold it down, and there we have some dimension to it. Okay guys, I just wanted to explain for a second, if you're gonna do the naked trees where you're just gonna place the little leaves on here, you may have to cut back some of your branches on these trees. Now, I didn't have to do anything with this tree or this tree on cutting it back. But when I went to place this tree down, these two kind of got in the way of each other. And I had to snip, if you see right here, and I just put a little leaf over here. But I wanted to point that out in case anybody might have trouble with the branches getting caught on each other. But when you put the foliage on the other card, you shouldn't have any problems and have to cut back anything. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and finish the card up, and then I'll be back to show you what I came up with. Okay guys, so this is the end result of my card. I just did some of the foam between this to kind of give it a three-dimensional look. This pile of leaves is also in the file if you'd like to use that, and I just put it at the bottom of the tree. And then TGIF, thank goodness it's fall. And then we open it up, and we have our fall little scene here with all of our trees. I just think it turned out pretty cute, guys. And you could do one tree, two trees, whatever your creative juices get flowing and you decide to do. And then on the back, I just did a place where we can write a message, and I chose to do one of the leaves that I created and just blew it up and made it bigger. So yeah, I think this turned out pretty good, guys. Do you guys know why the tree started taking art lessons? Because it wanted to branch out. Guys, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and crafting with me. Don't forget to stop by next week to see what's popping and dropping. Bye!